Hey guys, so today we are talking about Wagner and Gesamtkunstwerk. Yes, that's a German word, but it means total artwork. Wagner didn't really invent it, it was used before, but he really brought it to life and made it kind of his mission. It really means total artwork, and it basically means that whatever piece you're going to label as Gesamtkunstwerk is going to encompass all different elements of art. It's going to have a really visually beautiful setting for the opera. It's going to have a really complex storyline, very relatable and yet heroic characters, really vibrant and interpretive music, and of course, a very heartfelt and flawless performance. It was meant to be kind of the height of all art, not just opera. So Wagner had some pretty big ambitions going for this. And so the work itself is enormous. His kind of crowning achievement, and the best example of Gesamtkunstwerk, is the ring cycle. Now, before I get totally into this, I want to make a note that the parts of the ring cycle that I'm going to be talking about today are totally fine for young students. However, if you want to look up more, please talk to your parents first, because there is material that might not be okay for young students, and you need to talk to them first to make sure that it's okay for you to learn a little bit more about it, read about it, watch it, whatever you want to do. But just check in with your parents first. So the ring cycle itself is a set of four full-length operas that tell one long story. The whole thing is about 15 or 16 hours, and you are usually going to see them over 4 different nights. So usually you'll see the first opera the first night, and then the next night you see the second one, third night, so on and so forth. It's possible to just perform one of those 4 parts, and that does happen on occasion. You don't really need to know what happened before or after to be able to follow along with one part of it. But even just one part of the ring cycle is a really big undertaking. It's a really big project. It's a full opera. And so if a company is going to take on doing just one part, typically they'll take on the whole thing, but it still doesn't get performed all that much because it is a huge project. It takes a lot of money, a lot of performers, a lot of crew. It's just a really big project. It's supposed to be. So the ring cycle premiered at the Bayreuth Festival that Wagner invented in 1876, but it took Wagner about 26 years, like almost 30 years, to write out the entire thing. The plot through the four operas, I almost said the 4 movies, but the 4 operas is that there is one ring that can rule the entire world. Yes, it's just like Lord of the Rings, but here's where it gets different. And that ring is kept by the Rhine maidens. And then Wotan, who is the chief of the gods, he decides to steal the ring, and then he uses the ring to pay giants to build Valhalla. Valhalla is the home of the gods. And so he steals the ring, gives it to the giants, they build him Valhalla. Except nobody is really supposed to have the ring except for the Rhine maidens, and it's cursed, so lots of problems ensue. And so Wotan decides that he's gonna get the ring back. But in order to do that, he's going to need more than just his lifetime. He's going to need his children and his grandchildren to also be a part of his plan, because it's going to take longer than he has to live. So it takes like hundreds of years. His grandson ends up being immortal, or just a regular human. He's not a god, but he does win the ring just as Wotan intended. However, he ends up getting betrayed after he steals the ring. And so then the Valkyrie, Brunhilde, the Valkyrie are basically maidens who are meant to take fallen soldiers to Valhalla. They basically escort them to basically heaven. Brunhilde, on the other hand, lost her immortality. She was a god. She was immortal. And she lost it because she disobeyed her father. But she wins it back because she takes the ring and she ends up returning it to the Rhine maidens where it came from. However, in the process of all of this trading back and forth and fighting and generations of trying to get this ring back and the curse that comes with it, Valhalla and the gods end up being destroyed. So it really doesn't work out in the end, other than the ring gets back to where it came from, but we basically start at square one. There's no Valhalla, there's no gods, the ring is back with the Rhine Maidens. Again, we're calling this a ring cycle because it loops back to where it started. It's kind of nice. So I could break this up and give you videos of it, but what I decided to do today is that I found a video where the New York Metropolitan Opera House, which is one of the biggest opera houses in the world, they're preparing one of the largest and definitely I think the most like the latest, the newest performance of the whole ring cycle. They do an incredible job. I got to see them putting the stage together. It's absolutely insane. So watch this video, and if somebody tells you that opera is boring, show them this video because it's insane. It's super cool. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about one specific part of the ring cycle, and you'll get to watch their performance of it on this really cool stage with the actors and singers that they're talking about in this video. So enjoy, and we'll be back to talk about it more tomorrow.